Rangers on Henrik Lundqvist night in really, really tough fashion. I was actually in attendance for this one. The first game I went to this season. Behind me, there's some snow in the background, but behind me is the Henrik Lundqvist sort of small mini banner as it was lifted to rafters in my home. But here nor there, unfortunately, the Rangers really two nights in a row, but especially in this game, they really blew this one, and it's hard to not get the last goal out of my head of a controversial call that did not go the Rangers' way, and we will get very much into that. And as time has gone by, thinking about it objectively, like, it stings, especially because it's Lundqvist night. I mean, the ceremony was tremendous. He is so loved by this fan base in a way that is it's hard to describe. And he just did so much for this organization, this franchise. Unfortunately, came short of that cup, but nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him. And I'm wearing it, the Lundqvist jersey, but this was, they did not play well at all. The second period was awful. And the Rangers came out great. My problem with them, for the most part, has been poor starts. First period was fantastic. Really, really good. And the second period was brutal. The third period was not really great either. And so the Rangers now, Adam Fox was out. We can't dismiss that. That's huge. No Fox is definitely problematic. It's really not what you want. He will be out through the remainder of this first half. I think he will be, if the timeline is what I think it is, he'll probably miss the All-Star. I being at the game, I'm not sure what was spoken of on the broadcast, but Fox probably misses the All-Star game, which is unfortunate. Just for a guy like him, I would have liked to, specifically a young player, in his first All-Star game. That would have been nice to see him in it, but I bet you that may not happen now, and that's fine. But no Fox is a huge loss for this team. I can't think of many, non-goalie wise. Fox is probably, honestly, even more so than a Panarin, even more so than a Zibanejad, even more so than a Kreider. Fox probably is your biggest loss. So you have him out. And so on defense, Zach Jones actually steps in. It really speaks to how much Nils. Let's talk about the defense for a second. It really speaks to, again, Nils Lundqvist was on the active roster for this game, but he was a healthy scratch. And it speaks to, again, what they think of him, because Fox, a right-handed shot. You end up going with Zach Jones, and he plays on his offside. Zach Jones, I thought, he was all right. He was all right. Like, there's going to be mistakes there, but I thought he was fine. It's Libor Hayek, who honestly, and I know I praised him. He played all right against Columbus in limited minutes, but Libor Hayek, he's just not good. It's amazing that he's lasted on this roster for as long as he has. The guy is just simply not that good. That's all I can say. But, it's really just one of those things where like with Fox out, with Nemeth out, Hayek's in. And we've seen, Tenorti, we've seen different people. Like I said, Lundqvist in the lineup. Braden Schneider, to me, like, he's here to stay. He got a lot of minutes in a top four role. And you also kind of see Ryan Lindgren without Fox. He loses his luster. I mean, there's no question. Like, you go from Fox. And I thought that the Lindgren-Schneider pair acquitted themselves fine. They weren't, bad by any means. But Lindgren, it's different without Fox. So for me right now, with Fox out, I still want to get Hayek out of the lineup. I personally, I would just roll with Lundqvist. I really would. I would go with him, and it would be a very young defense. I mean, Hayek's fairly young himself, but it'd be really young. I mean, with Schneider, Jones, Lundqvist, and Keandre Miller, like it's ridiculously young. But you just might have to do that with 2 games left. We'll see. The bigger issue is the forwards. So Morgan Barron gets sent down, and Barron Um, he either got sent down or he either was sent down to Hartford or to the taxi squad. Either way, Johnny Brodzinski is the one that steps in. He didn't play a whole lot like that. So the fourth line tonight was Brodzinski with McKegg and Gauthier. That was a line that did not get a whole lot of minutes. So your third line was Rooney centering Hunt and Reeves. That is, again, there's reasons for this. Let's remember, Kakko's out and Hedl is out. Kakko being someone who that's both would be starters, right? Like we could say what we want about both of them, and you know how at times they've been disappointments. More so Hedl, but Kakko, you know, at like before he got hurt, he wasn't playing particularly well. Either way, the forward depth is a problem. I mean, tonight for Ryan Reeves, you playing more than 13 minutes, that cannot be. And I'll say that there are circumstances involved in this, but not good. To be like honestly, Dryden Hunt really shouldn't be in the lineup. Ryan Reeves, like, sure, I'm all right with that, but I will stick to the fact that I don't think he's a guy that should be playing every single night. But with this crew, he will. Greg McKegg should not be playing. Like just like Dryden Hunt, McKegg should not be playing every night. Brodzinski's a different situation. Like you don't usually see him. And then Gauthier, like he's a little bit different because there's like some offensive upside there, but because he's so poor defensively, and again another guy that's a very fringe, extremely fringe. We're talking about players that are like healthy scratches, and in some other cases, like really should be Hartford bound. So that leaves you with the top six tonight, where Kreider goes on his offside to the right wing and Lafreniere to the left. And Lafreniere, look, I'm glad that he got the minutes. I'm happy that he got the minutes, but still, Lafreniere, I am not loving what I'm seeing there. Do we know what the future holds? We don't. But I have to be honest, with Lafreniere, I'm not thrilled about it. I'm not. And I know some people thought he had a good game tonight. I don't know. I disagree with that. I don't think he had a great game. So Lafreniere, but the good thing is a lot of good minutes. Like 19, I think it was like around 19. He got a lot of time. And then you have the line of Strome with Panarin and Goodrow. There was some good there. There was some bad there. We've kind of seen that with that line a little bit where, yeah, you'll get some offensive production, but even though Goodrow, is normally a pretty sound defensive player, he's actually had some mistakes, I will say. But let's get into the game. So Shesterkin and net, of course, for the Rangers. And this was a really good first period. And Goodrow draws a penalty early. The Rangers don't score. Again, no Fox, so it's a bit of a problem. So the special teams, it's taking a hit. I mean, even losing Fox on the penalty kill, that's a problem too. So Minnesota, they win the special teams game tonight as they go 1 for 2 on their power play. Rangers go 0 for 2. So that hurts. The Rangers are a team that needs to win that battle because we know that 5-on-5, it's a bit of a, it's nothing to write home about. So the Rangers don't score on the power play, but at 8:47, good passing play. Strome to Trouba to Goodrow. So a really nice goal. I think Goodrow wide up in front. Goodrow's 10th goal of the season, which I believe is already a career high for Goodrow. Let me just confirm that. But yes, right. When he got his goal last night against Columbus, that was already his career high, so he just extended it. So Goodrow, really, it's been a very good season for him. And we'll touch on maybe some mistakes that happened tonight. And he's, he hasn't been perfect by any means, but it's been good. It really has been. And a great pass by Jacob Trouba. So that makes it 1-0 Rangers. Then there's a situation where Jordan Greenway, and Greenway was very much involved, bordering, kind of towing the line between, clean and not clean. But Greenway came in as Zuccarello hit Strome, and then Strome retaliated back with Zuccarello, then Greenway got involved. So coincidental minors on Strome and Greenway. So we saw some 4-on-4 play. But then on a face-off win by Zibanejad, I believe it was Zibanejad at that point, yes. And Shot for the point by Trouba. Kreider with a really tough, Ben, the defenseman, was right on him. And Kreider was able to get it past Cam Talbot. Cam Talbot net for the Wild. Ironically, Henrik Lundqvist backup in 2014 and 2015. So you got Zuccarello on the other side. You got Talbot, but Kreider scores the goal. So Chris Kreider scores his 31st goal of the season, and it gives the Rangers a 2-0 lead. It was funny. Right where I was sitting, Kreider, I was on the side where there was a lot of action. I saw 4 of the 5 goals were on my side. The penalty shot, which we'll talk about, was on that side. And then also the no goal was right there too. So if nothing else, definitely had a good view of it. And so it was pretty cool. So Kreider scores. He's just been so good in front of the net, just so good at scoring goals. And so that would make it 2-0 Rangers. Brodzinski would take a penalty late in the first, but the Rangers kill it off. But all in all, a great first period by the Rangers. And then it all went downhill. But it took a while to. And in the second period, Lindgren messes up and Schneider needs to, do what he can. So even though Schneider was the one that holds Freddie Gaudreau of the Wild, it was really Lindgren's fault. But either way, penalty shot, and Shesterkin makes the save. Shesterkin holds it at 2-0 right there. Then later in the period, in Minnesota, they were buzzing. They were getting chances, and eventually they score, where Gaudreau and Strome could not get the puck out of the zone. I can't blame it on one person. And, Gaudreau was trying to be opportunistic, whereas if he does poke it, he might get a breakaway chance. I'll also say earlier in that period, there was a 2-on-0 opportunity where Ryan Reeves, he either needs to shoot it or get the puck over to Kevin Rooney faster. He did neither of those, and so that was a failed attempt. So that was unfortunate. But Kevin Fiala scores on this shift where Gaudreau can't get it out and Strome can't either. Kendrick Miller was on the ice, and it was just nothing that Shesterkin could do on that one. So that makes it 2-1. And then soon thereafter, you have an Alexis Lafreniere interference penalty. And that's the problem. He's taking a lot of penalties lately, and it would come back to bite them. I think that's also part of the reason why I'm a bit bitter towards Lafreniere. And who scores it? Matt Zuccarello. You just knew that was going to happen. Former Rangers, it's just a thing. And, of course, on Henrik Lundqvist's night, one of his best friends, Matt Zuccarello, of course he scores on the power play. And that ties it up at 2 right there. So we head into the third, and the Rangers got outshot brutally, 19-7 in the second. Minnesota absolutely, they dominated that period. So 2-2 going to the third, and early in that period, the guy who got denied on the penalty shot, Freddie Gaudreau, scores. And this is a play where I'm going to assign blame to Strome and Hayek. Strome kind of lets Gaudreau receive the pass from Fiala, moving right in, and then Hayek gives him way too much space. I'll also say that Shesterkin may want to have that one back. He is nowhere near high on the list of people to blame in this game, but he may want to have that one back. But Gaudreau came in with speed and with space, and he scores. And so, not thrilled there with that defensive, that Strome line defensively. It's been a bit of a problem. And Hayek, you just don't want to play a guy like that. I don't like it. So that makes it 3-2 Minnesota. The Rangers, Jacob Trudeau was hit into the boards, a boarding penalty by Ryan Hartman. And the Rangers had some chances on the power play, but they're unsuccessful. And the Rangers don't get much going until the very end. And here's what happens. At the very end of the game, they have an opportunity to score in the dying seconds. And Panarin takes a shot, goes behind the net. Lafreniere, I think, throws it in front. And it's a bit of a scramble. So basically, Zibanejad and Strome are right in front of the net. And I'm watching this, and Zibanejad pokes it in with about 2-3 seconds, 2 seconds or so. He pokes it in, and to me, it seems like a legal goal. But the ref waves it off right away. Right away, he waves it off. And what happened was, and again, I still don't feel great about this. I really don't. But Strome was Strome did nothing wrong. Like it's the right intention. He was, sort of whacking away at it, and his stick kind of pushed Talbot's pad into the net and impeded him from making the stop. And Zibanejad would poke it in. It's not like the puck was. It's not like Strome, made the puck go out of Talbot. The puck was always loose. The puck was. It was not a puck issue. It was just that Strome hit his pad, and the call on the ice stood. And the fans went crazy, like I've never seen. Not a great look, but fans were upset. Like it was a packed house. People were really hoping for the win on Henrik Lundqvist night. People were throwing things on the ice. Bit of an ugly scene. I think there's a circumstance in which that is called a goal. Like it wasn't as egregious as I originally thought, but I really tend to think that, and maybe I'm viewing this wrong, but I tend to think that if that was ruled a goal on the ice, I just feel like that ends up staying a goal. I don't know. I've seen worse. So that's the thing. Zibanejad almost is like the hero in that moment, which would have been fun. And instead, it's looked back on and what could have been. And they played poorly, but that was a really, really tough way to lose it. And it's hard not to think about that. Certainly having gone to the game. Maybe I would have had a different thought watching it. It's definitely a different perspective, but that one definitely hurt. I can't deny that. So the Rangers, a lot of streaks, like they had a home winning streak that's come to an end. They had a streak. This is their first regulation loss when tied going into the third. They had an excellent record, I think, when leading after one. It hurts, especially when you lose that Columbus game the night before. I was really hoping, well, all right, at least you win the Minnesota game, and it looked good. And then it didn't. And so now the Rangers, they lose. And again, in the big picture, it's fine. Playoff-wise, like nothing changes there. They're looking good, but there's a lot of season to go. But the Rangers, like I said, tweaks need to be made. They need to get healthy, but even with the health, I really do think that they need – you don't want to make changes that's going to negatively affect the future. But if you can somehow just improve the club without really getting rid of true future assets, and that's the balancing act. You really want to do that. So – the Rangers lose on Henrik Lundqvist night, 3-2 to the Minnesota Wild. 2 games left before the break. Home against the Kraken, weather pending. I think, it's a Sunday afternoon game. Barring anything too crazy, I think that game will be played as scheduled. And then Tuesday against the Florida Panthers, also at home. So hopefully the Rangers can, again, without Fox, it's going to be tough. The Kraken game is one thing. Panther game is another, but we'll see what the Rangers can do to finish out this first half, you want to call it that, before the All-Star break.